Hello everyone, another part of Earth Week this week. I'm going to talk about water pollution. And you can see I've got my 2 bowls of water. These are going to be my water habitats. So, what is pollution? Pollution is where we contaminate or put the bad stuff into the water that doesn't belong there. And it makes these habitats, it makes that water system change. So we're going to look at different effects and the differences between the good water and then the polluted water, which is going to be this one. So I'm going to add some different things, and we're going to see how nasty and how yucky this good water is going to get when we add all these pollutants or all this pollution, all this bad stuff that doesn't belong. So I'm going to use an example of the baseball field near my house is right along the river, and a lot of times, I've been there to pick up trash a couple times, a lot of times after a sports game, people just leave their trash laying. Which sometimes they don't mean to, but sometimes the wind blows it away, and guess where it ends up? Into the water. It blows down into the river. So can you see that trash floating right there? And then there's some that sank to the bottom. It changed the water a little bit, but it doesn't seem that bad, right? Now let's say somebody went to the park and their car messed up. They had to change their oil right then. So when you change your oil, you're supposed to dispose of it or get rid of it in a certain way so that you don't hurt the environment. But they decided they didn't have time to do that, so they just dumped it on the bank by the river. So they dumped all that oil into the water. That looks kind of yucky, doesn't it? But they might say, it's no big deal, it's just a little bit. But look how much it changed so far. So then we have different things called runoff, which is where we might not put something directly in the water, but it might be on the bank or on the roadways near the water. And when it rains, it runs off, it goes down into that water. So there's different types of runoff. We have agricultural runoff, which is like farming runoff. And that can be from fertilizers or from animal waste or something like that. So let's just take a look at what would happen if agricultural waste got in the water. It's going to be my blue. So it's changed it a lot. We went from pretty clear water, now we have this. Let's think about industrial runoff. So industrial would be like from factories and from roadways and stuff like that. So that's just like people pollution. So let's think, the water's pretty bad. Could it get any worse? Well, this is from this is from industrial runoff. How's that look now? What do you think has happened to the fish and the population of different bugs and animals in this habitat? Do you think they're very happy? No. Do you think they're going to live very long or be very healthy? Probably not, because now not only do they have the trash and the different runoffs and this oil, they are being forced to probably leave their habitat because it's no longer something they can live in and be healthy. So our pollution has caused these animals to either die or to have to leave. And there's something else that happens when we have water pollution, is that we have good animals and bad animals. So when that good water gets dirty and those good animals has to leave, the bad animals, like bad bugs specifically, like leeches and stuff like that, they can take over. So that's another reason why we need to keep our waters healthy, because we're hurting the healthy populations and the good populations of animals that we need in those waterways. And it's also killing any of the life, the plant life too. So that's something bad that hurts our water systems. And if we think about a river, just because I do this in the river right in front of the ball field, let's think about how a river moves. So that water is going to start here, but it's going to go, and all that yucky water is going to move down the river, and then it's going to hurt animals and plants in other places. So that's something else to think about. And it doesn't just hurt the animals in the water. What else needs the water from the river? Maybe animals that live near it, maybe they drink out of it, and maybe they need it. So that's another reason that we have to keep our waters clean. Because, excuse me, I have the hiccups still. That's another reason to keep our waterways clean. Those animals are really suffering, and it's hurting all of the animal and plant life surrounding the water, not just in the water. So that's something easy we can do to take care of our waterways. We can pick up our trash, make sure we always pick up our trash, And if you see other people leave their trash, you can be nice and pick theirs up too and throw it away. You can make sure, and I know it's not really you guys, but you can help talk to maybe your parents or talk to other people about the proper ways to dispose of oil or gasoline or something like that. You can do your part when, like, as far as runoffs and stuff. You can try to do your part to prevent some of that. These are just different ways. So my challenge to you today, since we talked about water pollution, is if you're in your yard at some point today and you see a piece of trash, go ahead and pick it up. That way it doesn't blow around and then end up in some water. Bye guys, thanks for watching.